Today, we're going to be talking about scoliosis. Welcome to the Pilates Show, where we explore creative, innovative, and fun Pilates tips and techniques to deepen the skill level of the movement educator while having fun. I'm your host, Casey Marie Hurt, and today we're going to be looking at scoliosis. It's really important to have an in-depth understanding of scoliosis or lateral deviation of the spine, because you see so many people walking into the Pilates studio with either they're born with a curvature in their spine or through habitual movement patterns, say their job, they actually start to create that later on in life. So knowing what scoliosis is and how to deal with it is going to really help your clients out of pain when it comes to having that lateral deviation. Now, I'm somebody who lives with scoliosis. I was born with it. And what I've found more often than not, that over-cueing the body in a scoliotic pattern can be very detrimental and can actually create more rigidity and more pain while on the equipment or on the mat. Now, this idea of, the scoliosis only living in the spine is quite wrong. That tension pattern goes all the way from the legs to the arms, all the way up to the skull. So I just want to do a little bit of a demonstration, and I really recommend that you do this in your studio or at home so that you can start to understand what it feels like to actually have that rotational twist going on in your body. Now, I'm going to have Jen come in. She's going to help me demonstrate this. I have a TheraBand, a long one, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to tether it to my foot here. I'm gonna go ahead and give that a knot. And what I'm gonna have Jen do is she's gonna start to wrap this around my body. Now, I know this is super silly and kind of crazy, and she's gonna put some good tension on it, but if you don't live with scoliosis, you have literally no idea what it feels like to have, as I call it, your pantyhose twisted all the way around your body. Now, Jen's having a lot of fun like this, and like I was thinking before, the only thing that's actually more ridiculous than me doing this right now is thinking that it would be a good idea to call more tension into anyone who's wound up in this capacity. So people with scoliosis, one leg or another, and usually into the opposite arm, have this idea of this spindle pull. So if I were just to let my body go, I would want to go to the direction that's going to ease up on the tension on the TheraBand, which would be to the right. And of course, I'm not necessarily going to walk through my life like this because my eyes have to look where I'm walking. So people with scoliosis then have to bring themselves into a helpful, useful, habitual tension pattern and brace against the scoliotic rotation so that their eyes can look at the horizon line. And that's not even getting into the side bending and compensations that come with spinal rotation. Now, say I'm coming into class with my nice little TheraBand scoliosis. You get me onto the equipment, I lay down, and I start doing footwork, I am always gonna be pulled into this tension line. Then every well-meaning teacher tries to correct it, right? Because I'm trying to brace against it. This is just gonna cause me to be even more uncomfortable than I already am. So there's some really quick things that you can do on the mat or on the equipment that's gonna really help lessen the pull and get your clients to be much more comfortable and actually sense what their spine is doing, which really helps to correct the curve. Now I'm gonna let go of this because this is highly uncomfortable. So if you look at the Pilates equipment and also the mat, you'll notice these are very flat surfaces, and I have yet to have a client come in that's as flat as the bed here. So what I like to do in the studio is actually use blankets and pillows to help bolster the scoliotic spine. So for me, this is my setup for my spine. You're gonna have to experiment with your own clients. I have a nice blanket here. I'm actually gonna stack 2 of them. This is really important because I want this to almost feel like memory foam. Then from there, I'm gonna put the headrest all the way up. And we use the beautiful, wonderful SmartSpine products by our mentor, Marie-Josée Bloom. And I'm gonna put that pillow right on here. Now this is a good start. I know it looks a little bit like a nest, but again, there are areas in my body that don't ever touch the equipment, so I can't tell that there's a there there. What this is gonna do, it's gonna come up into my body, conform to my curves, and really give those empty spots in my spine a little bit of tactile cueing to awaken the senses so it can actually maybe receive some cueing. I also really love having these nice triangles from SmartSpine that we can heat up, and the arch tubbies. Heat is fabulous for the connective tissue. To really get the fascia to remold, the connective tissue needs to get up to like 100, 101 degrees. This is a nice way to do it, to put it under the clients. You're gonna feel fantastic if you do this for yourself too. So I'm gonna show you a nice way to prop with these. I gotta take the rest of my scoliosis off. I have enough as is. So what I like to do with these heated SmartSpines is take the arch tubbies, put it right at the base of the skull. That's gonna help to talk to the top of the spine, very important. Also, the glutes, a lot of times, very, very tight to help get the pelvis to try to look forward and walking. And then for my empty side, I'm gonna take my warmie, I'm going to place it underneath. So that's any place on the body, your client's body, that you see doesn't easily contact the reformer. From here, I can cue breath, I can cue dropping into the weight, I can let the warmth help to ease the connective tissue to try to find an easier baseline point to move within. You have to let go of the idea of being perfect, alignment-wise, when working with your scoliotic client. What's more important is to actually find ease in the movement in every moment. Allie wrote in on our forum asking about the kyphotic lordotic client. You'll see a lot of this coming into the studio. She wants to know different ways and different things that you can do to help decrease the muscular tensioning in that client. Well, release work is the #1 place to go here. You're not gonna be able to strengthen their way out of this. This is really about taking out some old patterning. And so I have an overball and also a Great Dane tennis ball. First things first, I would really highly recommend having your lordotic client do release work on this bigger tennis ball in their waist from QL all the way over to the obliques. This is gonna be very, very tight on your kyphotic lordotic client, extremely helpful in getting rid of their lower back pain. Now the other thing that you're gonna wanna do after you do that is to take an overball, really inflate it maybe 3/4 of the way. You're gonna go onto the forearms and you're gonna start to do abdominal massage. Once they find a tight area, they're gonna drop their forehead onto their hands and do really deep belly breathing into the ball, really concentrating on trying to get their abdominal wall to expand into the ball, and then when they exhale, they're gonna let the ball press up and into them. A lot of times your kyphotic lordotic clients are extremely tight in their abdominal wall, and so if you cue too much tension on top of that, it's just really gonna lock them into that posturing. But by doing these 2 release work points, might really give you that gateway exit out of that tension pattern. That's it for today, and if you have any questions that you'd like to see answered on an upcoming episode, just comment below on Facebook, Twitter, or on the forum. See you next time, and never stop learning. Okay.